What can global feeding teach us about child food refusal? Imagine children around the world sitting down to meals that look very different from each other. Despite the differences, many face similar challenges with eating. This is where global feeding practices can teach us a lot about dealing with child food refusal. In many cultures, children tend to prefer foods they already know and recognize. They often reject new or unfamiliar foods because their brains are wired to protect them from potential dangers. This natural caution is called food neophobia, and it peaks around the age of 2. It's a normal part of development, not a sign of stubbornness or picky behavior. Children also tend to misjudge what foods are safe to eat. They might see a new vegetable and think it's inedible or dangerous. This cautious approach helps them learn what is safe through repeated exposure and experience. How they are introduced to foods early on plays a big role in whether they accept or refuse certain foods later. Global feeding shows us that children prefer familiar foods because they feel secure with what they know. If a child is used to rice and beans, they might reject a new dish with unfamiliar spices or textures. That's why offering a variety of healthy foods repeatedly is so important. It helps children get used to different tastes and textures over time. Creating a positive mealtime environment is also key. Distractions like screens or rushing meals can make children less willing to try new foods. Instead, focus on calm, relaxed settings where children can explore their food without pressure. Allowing children to feed themselves with fingers or utensils encourages independence and curiosity. When children are involved in choosing and preparing foods, they often become more interested in eating them. Sensory sensitivities also play a role. Some children reject foods because of their taste, smell, or texture. For example, many children dislike bitter flavors common in vegetables. Adjusting how foods are prepared, like steaming or blending, can make them more appealing. Establishing predictable routines around mealtime helps children feel safe. Serving meals at regular times and offering familiar food combinations reduces anxiety about what's coming next. Caregivers should also be patient and avoid pressuring children to eat. Pushing a child to finish a plate can backfire and increase food refusal. Global feeding emphasizes the importance of patience and persistence. Repeated exposure to a variety of foods, creating positive mealtime experiences, and respecting sensory preferences all help children develop healthy eating habits. Educating caregivers about these strategies is essential. Avoiding reliance on milk or formula once solid foods are introduced ensures children develop an appetite for a range of foods. In the end, child food refusal is a normal part of growth. It reflects a child's developing senses and decision-making. By understanding these global feeding lessons, parents and caregivers can manage picky eating with kindness, patience, and consistency. This approach helps children grow strong and healthy, with a balanced diet that supports their development.